5 defenses to stream in Week 13. First up is the Washington Commanders. Will Levis has been a dream matchup for any defense this year. Despite only playing 8 games, he's taken 35 sacks, tied for the 4th most in the league, and his 13 turnovers are the 2nd most by a quarterback. Fresh off of a game where he got dumped 8 times, lost a fumble, and threw a pick 6, he now has to go up against the desperate Commanders team, who have lost 3 straight and need to win this game to keep their wildcard hopes alive. Washington is coming off of a bad loss to the Cowboys, but it's not entirely on the defense. They actually hung tight for the first 3 quarters. This game was largely decided by special teams, with the Cowboys returning 2 kicks for a touchdown and the Commanders missing 2 extra points. The Commanders also blocked a field goal and a punt in what ended up being one of the most exciting games of the week, but I'm expecting them to clean things up in that area and for them to have a much better showing this week. I am expecting the Titans to rack up some yards and points, but as we've seen all year, as long as Will Levis is QB, there should be some opportunities to produce. Number 2 on the list is the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks get a Jets team who are coming off a bye, but I'm expecting much of the same this week. Aaron Rodgers has taken 26 sacks this year, tied for the 9th most, and he's thrown an uncharacteristic 7 interceptions. The Seahawks have also looked really good the last 2 weeks, allowing a combined 23 points while racking up 7 sacks and getting 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown. At this point, the Jets are what they are. They have a lot of talent on paper, but they just haven't been able to put it together on the field. I'm expecting Aaron Rodgers to be under pressure all day. He's been blitzed 109 times, which is tied for the 5th most, so I'm expecting Seattle to dial it up all day. Number 3 on the list is the Dallas Cowboys. I think yikes sums up the Giants' performance pretty well last week. Tommy DeVito and company fell flat on their face, only mustering up 7 points while allowing 4 sacks and giving up a fumble. I think ultimately it came down to the release of Daniel Jones, which had a reverse effect. It basically sent a message to this locker room that the Giants are throwing in the towel on this season. They looked uninspired, and with them having to play on such a short turnaround, I'm expecting their offensive woes to carry over into this game. Now, Dallas's defense hasn't been formidable all year, but they did hang tight through the first 3 quarters last week. And like I mentioned, their special teams was the X factor, returning 2 kickoffs for touchdowns, which gives them a little bit more upside than your average streamer. I would have them ranked a bit higher, but I'm expecting this to be a run-heavy, chew-up-the-clock type of game, which caps their ceiling a bit, but not enough to not take a chance on them. Number 4 on the list is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers dominated the lowly Giants last week, ending their 4-game losing streak. They hung tight for all 4 quarters, and they rushed the passer well, adding another 4 sacks to their total, bringing them up to 32, which is tied for the 9th most. And this week they get a Carolina Panthers team that has been re-energized since Bryce Young was reinserted into the lineup. So I am expecting this game to be close, but I do anticipate the Bucs prevailing. They need this win to keep their playoff hopes alive, and ultimately, I think they have more playmakers on defense between Vita Vea, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Levante David. As an added bonus, the Bucs play Las Vegas in Week 14, so if you're looking for a defense to stash ahead of next week, they are a great option. Number 5 on the list is the New York Giants. Now, I know it did not look good for New York last week like I mentioned, but there is reason for optimism, at least on the defensive side of the ball. Despite only having 1 sack in their last 3 games, the Giants still lead the league in sack rate percentage. And their 36 sacks are still the 5th most in the league. And this week they're going up against an abysmal Cooper Rush-led offense that has a suspect running game at best. Sure, the Cowboys did win last week, but like I mentioned, it was largely on the heel of 2 special team scores, which really isn't sustainable. Ultimately, I'm still anticipating Dallas to struggle on offense, especially if Zach Martin and Tyler Smith miss this week, and for the Giants to post better sack numbers than they have recently. Those are 5 defenses to stream in Week 13. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know which defenses you think we should stream in the comments below.